Welcome back to the LTS, guys. It's your host Duncan, and in studio I'm here with Massive Boy, sir. And on today's conversation, I'll be talking about Real Madrid, and most importantly, we shall be talking about their former coaches, in the likes of Ancelotti and Zidane. Arguably one of the best, greatest managers we've seen, I think, in terms of Ancelotti, and Zidane, one of the, you can't say we've seen him for the shortest period, but he's one of the most successful in the shortest period we've seen. So yeah, that's today's conversation. So I think we'd start from maybe how they play and how their teams are set up. Yeah, you could say Zidane, I think, learned some of his managerial traits from at least Carlo Ancelotti, since he was his understudy in his that last season he was in Madrid, I think, before Zidane took over. But you could say Ancelotti's style is more or less of, he lets the players more or less do their thing, and he wants them to feel comfortable in what they're playing.
Yeah.
And at least from what I've read about him from his time in Parma and to like Juve and then the Milan clubs, he's a guy who, he's a boss, right? And he likes his senior players, or the top hierarchy in the team, the most experienced players, the hardest players, to real take charge. And from interviews from the likes of Toni Kroos, I think there's that thing he highlighted in a final where he asked the Madrid top end for like how the strategy would go in that final, and Toni Kroos giving that famous pep talk in that final. So maybe contrasting to the likes of Zidane. Zidane is more or less of, he has a bit of tactics in there, but I think maybe to highlight some of his strengths, I could say there's that, the way he used Isco, right? More or less the team was Ancelotti's team, right? But the way he used Isco in his first season as the big manager, and the likes of, let's say, James Rodriguez, because fine, Ancelotti was giving a free reign, but maybe he highlighted more of Isco's traits in terms of at least playing him either in the front three or in the 10. And it's highlighted in one of those finals, I think, when they played Juve, when they put on that purple, I think it's the purple jersey, right? That's the final. I think that's one of the best finals I've seen Isco play. Like, he was magical that day. So I think it's contrasting in styles. Maybe I don't know what you think in terms of at least their philosophies.
Yeah, I think that's a good take. Ancelotti, it's so interesting because I myself am a tactical. I love tactics, in-game tactics. But Ancelotti said something when he had just arrived at Liverpool. He said, "Do you know what the hardest job is in management? It's not how we're going to play, the positions of the players. It's actually his hardest job right now," he's thinking, is getting the players to play every week at that same level, the man management side of the football. So I think we could play off Ancelotti because obviously the man management style of Sir Alex and the likes, Arsene Wenger and the likes is kind of fading away, but it's such an important and imperative part of the game, so you can't underrate it and downplay it. So I think Ancelotti's style, however much it's fading a bit, it's moving more to a tactical style in world football, but it's so underrated and it's produced, miracles. I mean, look at his time at Everton. Everton was sinking ship. He came there, bought his James Rodriguez, who he follows him everywhere. And they managed to get out of that relegation scrap. So I think it's so underrated, his style of management. I think once you know how to manage those big stars, big names, I mean, the football goes together. I mean, we've seen teams who have like who have big stars in their teams. We have this fantastic tactical who comes from our league, or like a lower league, he knows all the tactics, but he can't handle the big stars. so the team doesn't play well. Versus Zidane, I think Zinedine Zidane is one of the luckiest coaches in the world to have that star-studded lineup. But then again, to perfectly position them. I mean, we've seen with Xabi Alonso, he's a tactician. He has these stars, but you could see the players were kind of bigger than him.
Yeah.
So to have that squad and play in a attractive brand, in a good way, I think is testament to Zidane and his work ethic and also his abilities. So I think two kind of different styles, but at the end of the day, I think they value the same things.
Yeah.
But not to mention obviously, they're coaches who go down in history as the greatest after like Pep Guardiola. Yeah. So that's quite interesting to note.
Interesting, you slide in Pep for that. But Ancelotti, I feel like, has been one of the greatest managers in our lifetime. I don't think taking league cups and dominating or organizing Champions League, winning teams across like 3 different leagues now, or because he took Champions Leagues when he was in AC Milan, right?
AC Milan.
Champions Leagues as well in Madrid.
Yeah.
And not so lucky in terms of at least European glory in Chelsea, but at least he got them a double, the League Cup and as well the league. So man, he's just littered with trophies everywhere he goes. So I think his model works given his track record. So but let me maybe pose a scenario question, right? If you have a locker room full of egos, as let's say a Madrid team, right? Who would you be hiring, let's say, to just win you a final?
To win me a final. To be honest, I think I would more so go with Zinedine Zidane over Carlo Ancelotti for one reason and one reason only. Obviously, in a final, we all know that it's not just the man management is like 90% because it's a final, it can go either way. But we've seen in certain finals, managers tweak some things and it comes to pass for the team and they're successful. So I think Zidane just has that other aspect to himself in terms of you can rally the troops, but do the troops believe in what you're rallying, what you're putting out the message? So I think because he has a blend, I see it much better than being man management focused, trying to motivate, because sometimes motivation dies.
True.
Sometimes it dies, so it can only last so long. You need other aspects.
I could say Zidane feels like a perfect blend of the managerial man management side and a little bit of tactics sprinkled in there. So,
but we must say that his playing career helped a lot.
Yeah.
Everyone wants sees the great Zidane from his playing side. So, you shut up because he's been there on the big stages.
He has more to say, man.
He has more to say.
Clearly.
That's not trying to dampen Carlo Ancelotti what he's done, especially I don't know whether you've noticed this as well. He has an eye for talent.
Yeah.
He has such an eye for talent.
He's always had that eye for talent, I think. But as well, looking at, let's say, there's something I read up about him, right? Given his tenure, right, in the likes of Paapa. So Paapa got him, struggled a little bit in his first season and he fired him. But he goes on to move to like the likes of Juve. That's where he gets introduced to the likes of Zidane, and is now, because originally his thing was the 4-4-2, right?
Yeah.
But when given a certain style of players, you have to tweak it.
Exactly.
And maybe just to highlight something, right? There's something I read. They offered him Roberto Baggio, right? Arguably, he was the best player in Serie A at that point. But he only refused him just because Baggio was the number 10. And in his formation currently in Parma, he could, it was Roma, he could only play the 4-4-2. And after that season, and then Baggio goes on to score around 25 goals. So I feel like there's a certain shift that happened in him after that, in terms of, at least if you have a player who has certain abilities and can achieve a different type of ball to maybe the likes of what you're trying to play. I think you could also try and look at his end and try and get the best out of him. You could see it at least translating to his AC Milan teams, where at least he changed it into that diamond formation of his, the famous 4-4-2 diamond formation with the likes of Rui Costa in the 10 and Seedorf, Gattuso and the rest. So I think you could see his identity coming across as he developed across his tenure, but maybe contrast to the likes of Zidane, right? Zidane looked like he just had it from the beginning. Because you could say in the Madrid team, it's not like you're going to build from scratch, right? You really have like final products already to just. So it's just you having at least your tactics on hand and just at least enacting them. So at least in that realm, in the beginning phase, at least Zidane looked like he was already miles ahead from like the likes of Carlo in their starting phases. But you could say as Carlo progressed along his career, Carlo just became a master at it.
Experience, best teacher.
Maybe Zidane, you could judge him more when at least he takes over the French squad. Some rumors about him taking over that French squad.
But I think the problem with the French squad is it's more or less the same, setup with Madrid. It's like you have these stars and you have all these upcoming, stars. They have such a plethora of talent. So it's just you about how you deal with players, how you how you can, because all due respect to the great legend Thierry Henry, but obviously you can see what he did at the Olympics. He struggled, in club sides, but like when you go to Olympics with a good side, good French young talent, he could do something because So I feel like that test, it would be a test, but it wouldn't be the biggest test. It wouldn't differ much from what he had to do at Madrid.
Maybe a different question. What would be a test for Zidane right now in his career?
I think, like you said, in terms of him going to a team where you need to now start building a bit. Building a bit. Not exactly, probably what? I'm not trying to say he should go to like Wolves, but like let me give you an example of like Pep Guardiola and Man City. I think 16-17 was when he arrived was a hallmark year in terms of if he had made the wrong changes, the wrong tweaks, I feel like City was slowly slipping out of the top, like we're going back to
starting to regress.
To their
old
their former
standards.
self, the old standards, UEFA Cup and whatnot. So I feel like if he had made the wrong changes, they had recruited the wrong people. They were slowly slipping down there. But like he had a good recruitment team, fair enough. But also Pep, he had an eye for who's going to play where, who can he play where. Fabian dealt in left back. So I think such a similar situation for Zidane would be ideal. I don't know, maybe I'm not sure which team I can compare that to these recent times. Maybe like a Newcastle or something. If he has that and then he's able to elevate that would be a test for him.
Interesting. To be fair, I wouldn't mind him in a United as well. So. Man, you need some great coaches in there to give players that confidence, man. And he looks like a guy who gives the team confidence. So
true.
Anyway, I think we've really digressed enough on this. But chat, let us know your thoughts on who might take it in terms of at least on the final. Who would you take? You taking the experienced Carlo Ancelotti, or are you taking the luckiest manager, as Matthew has put it, in the likes of Zidane? But it's been real in the studio here. LTS out. Thanks for watching.